Kicking it with Kay and Clay. Kicking it with Kay and Clay. Kicking it with Kay and Clay. Kicking it with Kay and Clay.
Hey everybody, thank you again for tuning into Kicking It with Kay and Clay. I am your girl, Kay Marie, and I thank you for stopping by and, giving us some of your time. So this month, we are going to talk about transitions. We know that in life, transitions, aka change, is bound to happen, whether it's the loss of a loved one, whether it's a loss of a job, or it's welcoming a new baby, or if it's moving to another state. Any type of change that can impact your life is a transition. And sometimes it can be hard to overcome. And sometimes, there's accomplishments in that change. So today we have a very special guest. We have a guest. She is a transition coach. Okay. So our guest in recent years has advanced through several life transitions. She went from being a Ford professional to entrepreneurship. She relocated states and overcame a significant health challenge. Our next guest is an ordained minister. She holds an MBA and a Six Sigma green belt. So she understands the process of transition. Okay. She is well qualified, and we're going to know more about her and what she actually does as a transition coach. So if you all will help me and welcome me, our guest, Denise Wanamaker. Hi, Denise.
Hey, Kay, how are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
Hello, everyone.
I know they're saying hello. So for those who are just listening only on our listening only platforms, I have Denise's information across the screen here. She's a transition coach, and if you like what you hear, you want services, you can feel free to contact her. You can email her at marketplacewisdom.ctc@gmail.com. And she also has a Facebook page called Marketplace Wisdom with Denise Wanamaker. Okay, Denise. So, of course, people don't know that we actually went to Bible school together. We were classmates. And you guys, let me tell you, Denise she is so sweet. She has a very sweet spirit. She's awesome. She really is.
It's so kind of you to say.
You are.
And relatives who might disagree with you, but I'm glad you think so.
I find that hard to believe. So we graduated in 2000.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been knowing Denise for a very long time.
Wow, about 23 years now, I guess, in total.
My gosh. Yeah.
Half my life, Kay. Half my
life. Right. When I was just a teenager. So Denise, what is a transition coach?
A transition coach is someone who helps someone go from here to there. Mm-hmm. In life, we all have goals. We all have places we want to go. We all have things we want to achieve. We have goals. And, that change from here to there is called change. But the journey from here to there is the transition. And a transition might involve the physical change. It might involve financial challenges. It might involve adjustments in relationships. It might involve developing new skills. There is a lot that may be required in order to make that change, in order to go through that transition.
Okay, so I know people probably wonder, how did she become a transition coach? Can you explain that process to us?
I've gone through a formal certification process. So I am a certified associate coach. And by this time in 2 months, I will be just a certified coach. So I've had formal training. I'm not just one of those people who put title life coach on their Facebook page. I actually have been trained on what to do.
Okay, right. And I'm glad you brought that up, 'cause there's a lot of like internet self-professed coaches out there,
Absolutely,
haven't been to
absolutely.
not nobody's school or certification class or nothing. They just like,
Nothing.
I'm out here, I'm a coach, and that's it. Okay.
Exactly.
So you actually have the qualifications and the training to be a transition coach.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so what are some of the top transitions that people come to you with in wanting help?
Right now, a lot of people want to transitions in their, I'll say their financial life, their
Mm,
work life, their careers. Um, I'm working with a group right now that has employed me to help them transition to the next level in their business. They want me to help them do a business plan. I'm coaching them through the business plan development process. So that means identifying the components of the business plan that needs to be worked on. And then I find someone in the group to hold accountable for each and every section. And we set a time. I put the process together that identifies time, that identifies what content is going to be provided, and who is going to put it all together. So we're working to that, and I'm coaching them through that. I ask them questions specific to each section of the business plan.
okay, so you coach inspiring or existing entrepreneurs, business owners.
That's some of who I coach, and it's been my main focus in these last few months. I'm also coaching a young woman who's an employee now, but she also wants to explore using her gifts and talents to start her own business, to do something on the side using the same talents. So she's kind of going through oh, I don't know if I can do this sort of mindset. I'm
Mhm.
kind of helping her see she's actually already doing it, but it's just helping her, coaching her through the steps to get her to that next level. And it's part of encouraging her just to continue to go forward.
Okay. So what are some of the steps, to give away, everything? What are some of the steps in which you help someone during their transition in whatever area that they need you in?
Well, the first thing I do is I use a process called GROW,
Hmm.
GROW. And a G stands for goals. So the first thing we have to do is identify what the goal is. For instance, with the young woman, her goal was, she thought, to start her own business. But then we have to kind of explore that. So then the R stands for reality. Where are you really right now? And a lot of times, people don't really understand what it's going to take to reach their goal and what they may have to sacrifice with their present reality in order to make that happen.
Mm.
So we have to explore the reality. Is it possible for you to do this right now? The O stands for both opportunity and opposition, because there might be doors of opportunity open to us that we don't even see. And sometimes just giving people an opportunity to speak it out, talk about their dreams. Part of the goal is, what would your life look like if this were to be achieved? And then what opportunities do you already have in front of you? And a lot of times we have opportunities and we don't recognize them. So it helps be able to talk them out with someone. But on the other side of that, there's always opposition or opponents that we have to, obstacles that we have to deal with. We have to recognize, and we can't just ignore them. So we have to come up with a plan. How are we going to deal with the obstacles? And finally, the W is for willingness. How willing are you at this point in time in your life to deal with all of this, to do the work? And what I do is I will set an assignment. I'll give someone an assignment which each session. Okay, you said you want to do this. What chunk can you do now? What can
Hmm.
you do this time? For instance, the young woman I'm working with, one of the things that I've tasked her to do is to put together a budget for her business. And I asked her, okay, when can you have this done? 2 weeks. who can hold you accountable for doing it. And I don't allow myself to be the accountable person, because then I'd be accountable for all of my clients.
Right.
So I have them find someone in their own lives to help them with that accountability factor.
Okay, so you mentioned the O. What are some of the oppositions that you see that people run into when they're trying to transition from one station to another?
Sometimes it's just people in their personal lives.
Mm.
A married couple, one may want to start their own business, move to a bigger house, pay off debt, and the other one's not ready to do that. So that could be a level of opposition. Sometimes the opposition or the obstacles in our lives are in our own mind, in our own head. It's our own fears that we have to deal with. It's our own, not inability, but unwillingness to do the work.
Mm.
So, that's fear is really the biggest obstacle. And even with, when you're talking about the couple where one wants to move ahead and one doesn't, that might also be a fear factor. The spouse may say, well, you know what? I'm afraid that if we do this, we're going to run out of money. Or if we do this, our children are going to be provided for. And you have to be able to talk that fear out. Or
Yeah.
the couple has to be able to talk that fear out.
So what about that phrase, like, do it afraid? Do you find that to be accurate?
That's a good question. Do it afraid. It depends on what the fear is and what the it is. What it are you trying to do? Because you really have to kind of break it down. Maybe your fear should be holding you back in some things at that point. Maybe it's not the time for you to learn how to skydive, when you've just gained 100 pounds, so
Right.
it's you can't live your life by just those type of sayings. You really have to take the time to examine where you are and what you want, and once again get back to reality.
Okay. What about, this is one of my issues. Fear of succeeding.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you can see the big picture, and then once everything is start to come together in a line, some of us, get afraid because we know that this is about to happen. This is about to take off. So how do you deal with that? How do you suggest somebody deal with that?
That's such a good question, because I'm kind of dealing with that myself.
Right.
I really am. And I'll tell you why off camera, okay?
Okay.
But one simple technique people can do is write down the pros and cons. Put stuff down on paper, journal, get your feelings out, and just face what this fear is. If you're about to experience a big life change, and I know you are, then it's like, it's some major change going on. And you don't know what you don't know until you get there. So, and we all kind of face that at some point in our lives, but you've got to come up with a plan to deal with the fear.
That's true. That is true. What about, have you ever had an encounter where two people or maybe more, say friends or what have you, want to go into business together, and you talk to them and you think to yourself, okay, I don't think so. Have you ever had that?
Well, not specifically in my coaching business, but perhaps something at least similar outside of my coaching business, where it seems like a good idea because we like each other and this will be so much fun. But the business isn't necessarily about fun. It's about getting the work done. And they may not necessarily be qualified to do the work just because they're your friend.
That's true. Oh, so what about, well, tell us a little bit about your entrepreneurial background.
Well, actually, my background wasn't entrepreneurial at all. I started off uh, a decade or two or three or four ago in engineering. And my background's always been very analytical, engineering, finance, et cetera, et cetera. I worked for Ford Motor Company for nearly 30 years and retired from there a few years ago. But I always had this heart to help people. And I can remember even back with my first professional job as an engineer, I really thought about quitting that and becoming a social worker. Even though I didn't know what a social worker did in particular, but I just felt like I didn't fit with engineering. And so it's kind of hung with me all this time. And so now that I have the opportunity to do something that is more hands-on helping people, more directly helping people, I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about it. And so then, I've studied entrepreneurship for at least 30 years.
Okay.
Looking at it from different aspects, even teaching it. I taught for Bible business principles for a long time. And now that I have the opportunity to step out on my own, it is kind of frightening. It's like one of those, okay, feel the fear and do it anyway, because you kind of go, well, there's no real specific training for it. I mean, there's a lot of training out there, but how do you apply it directly to yourself? And there's so many gurus out there, marketing gurus and all kinds of specialists, and you don't know who is telling you what. You can spend a lot of money learning things that doesn't apply to you. But God's been gracious and he set me on a path. And so I'm just following the path.
That's good. Yeah, it is, it can be scary, once we get out there and step out and do what it is that we're passionate about. It's almost like going like let's use your skydiving analogy. It's almost like skydiving without a parachute, because it's like, okay, because it's you don't know. It's like a lot of uncertainty. But we know that if it's a passion of yours, you do whatever it takes to make sure that you are successful in that. The risk will be worth everything, So, like, what are other transitions other than business do you deal with in your business?
That's a good question. I did want to touch base a little bit on what you just said, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because the phrase comfort zone popped in my head. And you asked earlier about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. And sometimes we have to be willing to take that risk of coming out of that comfort zone.
Yes.
If those don't take the risk of coming out of their comfort zone, lead a very shallow life, and they're not satisfied. And it's only the people who are willing to take that risk that find fulfillment and I think real happiness.
That's true, because it's like you're stepping out on faith, and it's like you said, if you're always doing things in your comfort zone, there's no type of stretch. There's, like you said, it can be a boring life, and not just that, one filled with regret.
Right. I tell my friends often, it's like, I've been blessed to get to this age and have, good health, have enough finances to cover myself. And I could literally just move into a 1-bedroom apartment and sit in front of the TV and eat cookies all day. I don't have to do anything else. I'm not responsible or accountable to anybody else. That could be my life. But that would be so boring. And I think I would have to answer to God. It's like, well, you know what, Denise, I gave you this, I gave you that, and you did nothing with it. And I think sometimes he puts gifts in us to stretch us.
Yes.
It's not easy to bring them out, but the stretching is where the faith part comes in.
Yes.
And everyone out there, everybody listening to us right now has some gift in them that they know is there. They may not know how to get it out, but they know it's in there and they have a desire to get it out. And I really believe I can help people because I've been through that. And you've asked about what other kind of transitions do people make. I've had to transition from being broke, the working broke, to someone who is comfortable,
Yes.
Having a lot of debt. I think at one point I may have had something like $300,000 in debt.
Oh, Denise.
Because I was stretching myself to try to get into real estate investing. And whoo, boy, that was not a good move.
Okay.
It was not a good move. But you know what? I don't regret doing it because now I know.
Okay.
And now I'm very comfortable in the lane I'm in. And I know this is where I'm supposed to be. And if I ever did that again, I would do it totally different. I'd have a whole lot more support, a whole lot more knowledge. And I would have a coach who could help me get through and not just me out there trying to figure it out on my own.
Yes, because I think that's is what's needed. Like whatever transition one goes through, what the one common denominator is having someone there to support you.
Right.
And our friends may not, they may love us, they may say some things, but it may not be what we need. And that's why sometimes, it's good for an outside person who knows what they're talking about, who knows what they're doing, who's been through certain things to help you with that transition.
Someone to bring a different perspective.
Yes. Someone
who knows how to take you from here to there. There really are scientific steps to it. And someone who knows how the human mind and human heart works and really cares about you, really wants to see you there, is not going to put obstacles in your path.
That's true. So what if people say, okay, I'm listening and it is something that I want to get into, have someone to help me transition. And again, not just business, but do you deal with transitions or what is your primary area of transitioning? I should put it that way.
Well, I don't really have a primary area because life is transition. So I help people with health transitions. I mean, I've gone through that myself.
Okay.
So if you want help losing weight, if you want help getting over a medical condition, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I can help you with the mindset and the plan. Because sometimes, for instance, I'll give you an example. As you may know, I've had knee replacement surgery. So I've had multiple knee replacement surgeries. So I've had to kind of really gear myself up after each and every one of them. So I understand the process of going through something that's so life-changing and having to keep going, and that it's not an easy something, but it's helpful if you have somebody who says, okay, you know what, take it a step at a time. What can you do now? What can you do next? And to keep someone's optimism going. Because I'm a very optimistic person. I believe we can achieve the stuff that we desire to achieve. And I've already mentioned the financial piece, the business piece, relationships. Sometimes we just need help with our relationships.
Yeah.
How do you talk to someone? Now, I do want to say this. I'm a coach. I'm not a counselor. A coach will help someone move forward in their life. But a counselor is someone who will help someone deal with the past that they may still be in pain about. I'm not certified in that. You need a different type of professional for that.
Okay. Like you need a therapist for that,
you
right?
need a therapist. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing at all.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
Right.
So if it's like one thing that you want us to know, what would that be?
That you can do it. It may not come particularly fast or in the timing you think, but you can always get started. And sometimes people aren't really ready to do, let's take losing weight, for example.
Okay.
Sometimes people aren't really ready to lose weight. They know they need to. It's pressing on them. And they look in the mirror. It's like, oh, I need to lose this weight. I need to lose this weight. But they just don't have it in them to do it. So I can help someone see, okay, so what do you need to deal with first before you get there? What else is pressing on you that is taking away the energy that you need for weight loss? And sometimes people don't even think about it in those terms.
Right, exactly.
But I can take people through a series of questions to help them bring out what it is they're really going through, what's really on their hearts and minds, and to help them see, okay, we can put stuff down on paper, we can put a plan together, and you can be accountable, take responsibility, ownership for this. You don't have to be a victim to anybody else's plan or purpose. You've got your own plan and purpose, and you can work it no matter what the circumstances.
So I like that. So, and again, you're a coach, not a therapist, you guys,
Right.
because you propel people to move forward in that change. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, if somebody contacts you, what can they expect from you?
The first thing I do is I'll have just a consultation. Help people understand, first of all, just what I said, that I'm a coach and not a consultant,
All right.
what that means. I'll explain to them the possible process we can go through. I'll help them clarify or identify their goal if they have one. Sometimes people come in and they think, this is what I want to do. But after we talk for a while, it may shift. It's like, oh, that's not really what I want. I want this. So I help them, get started on that process. So the initial session really is just discussion, so that we can kind of build a rapport, build a relationship, see if we have a rapport, because you don't always have rapport with everyone. So if there's no rapport there, then there's no sense in them wasting their time and their money. I can refer them to different coaches, or if they need a counselor, I can suggest that they find a counselor. But I really try to work to set us up for success right from the very beginning.
Okay. And how long have you been in this role?
Oh, this is my second year of business.
All right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I can tell you love it.
I really do. It's so exciting to be able to help people, to do something where you can say, okay, this person spent 3 weeks, 3 months, whatever with me, and they started at this level, and now they're at that level, and they've learned some tools and skills that they can take even beyond our relationship.
What is one of your testimonials that stand out to you so far?
Oh, wow, that's good. I think I'm really proud of the group that I'm coaching in their business plan, because before they were kind of scattered. It's 10 people in a co-op, and so they all have their own businesses, but they're trying to make this co-op work as a group thing, a group benefit, and they all stay so busy, but this is helping them gel. So I'm really proud of the work that's being accomplished there, and it's being set up so they can go forward and repeat it over and over again and just grow and build.
That's awesome. That's good. Well, thank you so much, Denise. This was you guys look, this is just like a little snippet. It's a little bit of what she does. And again, if you are watching or you're listening and you're thinking to yourself, you know what, I think I need some help. I need a financial, not financial, but a transitional coach, someone to help me execute my plans, and someone that will help me accomplish what it is that I want to do for the future. And if that's you, Denise is available. Now, Denise, do you coach people only in your state, or is it all over?
Oh no, I do virtual coaching.
All
I
right.
do it either phone or Zoom or whatever works. I've coached people. In fact, the group I was just telling you about, most of them are in Alabama, I've coached people in Florida. Yeah, it, it's very little has been local.
Oh, okay. See, so you can contact Denise. Again, her email information is marketplacewisdom.ctc@gmail.com. And you can also find her on Facebook, Marketplace Wisdom with Denise Wanamaker. Denise, thank you so much. Thank you for, being out there helping people achieve their goals. Um, I know that you said it's your second year, but I know that you're going to be, it's going to take off. I mean, it's probably has taken off, but it is because a lot of people need help, and you are, again, knowing you for as long as I have, you have a passion and a heart for people, and that is first and foremost instrumental in helping anyone when somebody have that passion, that heart for people. Because you have people in these roles or other professions that deals with people who don't have a heart for people, and I'm like, why?
I know. I could tell you the story, but we're not going to do that.
Okay. So you guys, ladies and gentlemen, Denise is the person to contact if you want to have a transition coach. Okay. Thank you so much, Denise, and everyone. So this is the month of April.
I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead. Go ahead.
Kate. I just got to say thank you. Thank you for having me on, and thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak to your audience. I appreciate it. And yes, if anyone would just like to talk to me for just a preliminary counseling session, not counseling, coaching session, because I actually really want to say consulting session, just so you can know what it is I'm about and how we could work together. I would love to hear from you.
See that she would love to hear from me, and I suggest that you reach out to her. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Again, this is the transition series. We're going to be speaking with different people who have actually been through some type of transition, whether it was a loss, a move, or whatever that was very impactful in their life. Because I really believe that everyone have a story, and your story can help someone either overcome a transition that was not so great, or a transition that is great. You can be inspired. So we are going to have some people on in the next coming weeks. And again, you can find us on all the major streaming platforms. And don't forget to share. You guys just support. And it doesn't cost much. It doesn't cost anything to share a post, share a episode, on Facebook or from YouTube, because I'm telling you, I don't care about numbers or anything like that. I really don't. I like doing this because I like to help people, especially in our community, to better themselves, and that's just what I'm about. And I think that's one of my purposes. So just feel free to, to support us and just sharing it, 'cause I know some people need to hear what others are saying. So thank you so much. Thank you again, Denise. And we're out of here, and I will see you next week. Bye.
Bye, everyone.